From the Opepco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. It's time for our weekly inbox segment. We take your questions via email and try to answer them here on The Press Row. Barry, let's get right to it. Let's start with a question from Zach. Zach says, why was Joe Castiglione and maybe Merv Johnson, I couldn't tell, sitting at the officials table in the Georgia Dome during the Baylor-Kentucky game? I don't think Merv Johnson was there, Barry.
I cannot confirm nor deny where Merv Johnson was in relation to Atlanta and the Baylor-Kentucky game. I don't think he was there, though, and I tell you why. Joe C. was there. Joe C.'s on the NCAA basketball committee. Yep. He's running the tournament. He's one of the guys seeding the bracket and picking the teams, and then goes and sits and does whatever those guys do at ball games. I don't know what they do when the tournament starts.
But they've got really good seats.
They got really good seats,
and
they sit there and watch the games. And if something goes wrong, they go ask somebody else. They don't go ask those guys. But no, Joe's on the committee. It's the most prestigious committee in sport, and Joe's part of it.
And isn't there a chance he could be the head of that committee here one of these days?
I don't know. He replaced Dan Beebe.
Right.
Because the Big 12 commissioner had the spot, and the Big 12 got to fill that slot. I don't know if he continues on. Dan Beebe was going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if Joe C. gets to, or if he goes to the back of the line.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
But either way, Joe Castiglione, big-time appointment, being on that basketball selection committee. You know, I think this just reflects what the college, sports world thinks of Joe. I think they think a lot of Joe Castiglione and put him on that committee, and I think that's a rightful place for him. All right, let's go back to the inbox. This one comes from Bill. Bill says, kudos to Roger Goodell. It's too bad the NFL does not have a death penalty. Maybe this will cut down on the Conrad Dobler wannabes. Very obviously in reference to the Bounty Gate, the Saints, and all the things that came down from the NFL. What do you think about all that?
Well, I mean, I think I applaud Roger Goodell. Now, for all you youngsters, Conrad Dobler was the mean St. Louis Cardinal offensive lineman from about 30 years ago who, after maybe while he was playing, admitted to do all kinds of atrocities at the bottom of piles, including biting opponents. But no, I think Roger Goodell came down hard, and I think it is good. I think this bounty, in case no one has gotten wind of this, the NFL is serious about this safety issue. Yeah. They're not kidding around about illegal hits and keeping guys healthy, because it is a brutal game. Yeah. We've got gladiators here in 21st century America, and they play pro football. It is a brutal, brutal game, and these guys pay the price for it. Even when the rules are followed, even when safety is paramount, they're still in bad shape at 55. We used to think it was all about their knees. No. Now we know it's about their head, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, and I too applaud Roger Goodell. I think it was fantastic that they came down hard on this. And I've read some stuff that there are people out there that say, now wait, we know that other teams do this. There's been evidence out there, maybe not as recently as the Saints, but and not too recent past that other teams do this. But you know what? They're going to get their due eventually too. But you've got to punish the ones you know about, and they had years worth of work and evidence and a case built up against the Saints. They knew what the Saints had done, and they took appropriate action. That argument, I hate that argument. Well, everybody else does it. Well, you know what? They knew the Saints did it, and they had the evidence, and they got them hard. They should have. That was the way it should have gone down. All right, back to the inbox. This one from Trenton. Trenton says, with the Spurs playing 16 games in 24 days to end the season, how many games do you think they'll bench their starters? Very interesting question as it relates to the Western Conference.
And I think several. I mean, we saw Tim Duncan rested just the other day and did not play. Old was the reason. Sometimes you say
Don't you
ankle.
Love Greg Popovich for that?
Yeah, I think Greg Popovich will rest his starters. Now, if they get down to the last 3 games and they're tied with the Thunder, and they can get that number 1 seed, the Spurs will play out, because number 1 seed in the West means a potential Thunder-Spur 7-game series. Game 7 would be in San Antonio instead of Oklahoma City. You don't win many Game 7s on the road. But before that, I think you will see Ginobili and Parker and Duncan all taking periodic rests.
Yeah, and that's sort of been Greg Popovich's mode of operation for years, and especially as these guys have gotten older, notably Tim Duncan, you have to pick and choose your spots, and I think that they've done a good job of that. Obviously, winning the West last year in the regular season, lost in the first round of the playoffs. But Barry, if anybody knows how to get this done, to get to the playoffs and to be at an optimal level, it's Greg Popovich. He's done it for a lot of years, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some starters sitting down for the Spurs. All right, back to the inbox one last time. This one comes from an unnamed emailer, but says, I don't really understand how in the world the Thunder has made it this far without you, Mr. Trammell. I also don't understand why you picked journalism as your profession. You would make an outstanding football, basketball, soccer, tennis, hockey, etc. Coach, wow, that's impressive, Barry.
Well, here's the deal. Don't be ridiculous. There's no way I could coach soccer or hockey. It's just an absurdity. And frankly, here's the other deal. The Thunder hasn't made it this far without me. I've been riding shotgun the whole way, telling them what to do from the very start. Here's the deal. This goes back to me palping Scott Brooks on Friday night.
And you should have.
He tried to throw away. They plays Derek Fisher 36 minutes and, acted like he regretted not playing him 46 minutes. And he also asked our good friend Kendrick Perkins to cover Kevin Love on the three-point line.
How'd that work?
It didn't work out well. Love went for 50. So here's the deal. Scott Brooks is an excellent coach. That doesn't mean he always gets it right. And sometimes we got to point it out. Don't play Derek Fisher 36 minutes.
Yeah, well, and he was a little bit hand-tied by his own rules because with Thabo Sefolosha returning, they made the decision to not have Thabo play unlimited minutes. Now those restraints are off. I don't think we'll see Derek Fisher playing 36 minutes in a game like that. But you're right, Barry. I mean, a matchup where you've got somebody who could handle Kevin Love better than Kendrick Perkins. To have that matchup on the floor, it's a little bit inexcusable. Now, I think Scott Brooks is going to be the coach of the Thunder for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if another 5, maybe longer years. I think Scott Brooks is still the coach. So he's a good coach, but yeah, don't play Kendrick Perkins on Kevin Love,
Right.
please.
Just read the paper in the morning and you'll be better off, Scotty. And by the way, sign your name to emails. How's that for a plan?
Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.